Hello, welcome to Christianity Explained. That's going to be the official title for my channel. My goal is to share insights, not just into scripture, but also to share some insights based on my experience in the Christian faith. I've been a committed Christian for a very long time, a couple of decades. No, I am not a authority on everything. I can only share from my perspective and my limited understanding. I want to talk about prayer, especially for leaders. And I will tell you, prayer has been a very important topic for me because for a long time that was the main way I had to operate, is talking with the Father about what's going on. Now, I realize some of you kind of know, today I call God my Father because He is, but there was a time I couldn't quite say it that way, and I realized a lot of you aren't quite there. So, hope you understand. Now, the main topic I wanted to talk to you about is praying for the leaders of our church. And this is true whether if you're going to a house church, and I know there's a whole bunch of you that do, or your church is, well, I don't go to an organized church per se, but I just tune in to Pastor so-and-so on television. Yeah. Well, I have been blessed by Pastor Paul Bucco of Riverside Church up in Three Rivers, Michigan. And obviously I don't live there. I live down here. So I understand some benefit. Now, why is it so important to pray for the leaders of our church? Alright, like I said, it's true for home church or for churches that are a large number, whatever. Here's why. First of all, God had called them to minister to a group of people. They have what's commonly called a shepherd's heart. I like what my friend and former pastor Warren Stewart used to say, I'm not the shepherd here. Jesus is the main shepherd. I'm just the under shepherd. I'm under him. And that's kind of what it is. Jesus is the chief shepherd, head. He, Brett, my current pastors, and others are under him. And they're supposed to walk under, and they are to walk under that authority. Now, with the shepherd's heart, that means they're called to care for the sheep, care for those who come to them for that spiritual nourishment, and perhaps insight, counsel, whatever, all that. It's not an easy job. It's not. Especially when you get people who you really want to they can't do that. They have a tender heart. They try to teach and do the best. If you're thinking of someone like, Pastor Greg Locke, the man has a mouth, loud, and everything. He does that, in public area. I have a feeling that if you met him in private, you'll find that he's not quite the mouth that he appears. He probably has a gentle heart. It's just, you're not going to see it if you only watch the television. Alright, yes, my age is showing. today, watch it on YouTube or video, whatever. And here's the other thing. It would be great if everyone read the scriptures. They don't. I'm sorry, but a lot of people don't spend the time, or they feel intimidated, whatever. The pastor is called to spend a lot of time in prayer and reading. And a lot of us grew up in the church culture that like, okay, I'm going to trust you, Pastor so-and-so, to know more, because you've been that time. I don't. Unfortunately, that's kind of what it is. Well, there's a certain snake, an enemy that prowls around like a lion, looking to devour whom he may. He knows that. He knows that people don't really know the word. So it's a lot easier to go, ooh, let me go after this guy and ruin the... No. That's one of the reasons why we need to pray. Because they are under spiritual attack. And it's important to remember that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against spiritual powers and principalities that really don't like what God is doing through the local church. And that's important to understand. The local church. That's one of the reasons why, because the enemy is seeking to stir up controversy, stir up argument, stir up whatever. Important to pray for protection. Pray that the Lord would step in and put a stop to whatever shenanigan the troublemaker is seeking to do. Keep that aspect in mind and you'll know. It's also important to pray because we are all inundated with things that sound good and everything. And sometimes not everything that sounds great is of God. That's why it's important to pray. That the Lord will give guidance and wisdom to let the leaders know, oh, hey, this is a good thing. No, it was not. It's also important to pray because, you know what? Contrary to popular myth, they are not endowed with instant knowledge or omniscience to know, oh, I know everything. I know all this. I know that. Bleh. No. I know a couple of pastors who are wonderful guys, but they did manage to make errors, but by grace, when I gently confronted one, I said, oh wait, then you really need this word of encouragement, but I need to temper it because pride is a problem. But he gave a right word that actually helped me. He comes from confrontation. Same thing with others. It's important. And it's also, sometimes they are confronted with things that are not so easy. And they need that. That's why it's always good to cover them with prayer. Pray that the Lord will give them inspiration, boldness. Yep. And wait, you might not think that's a great idea. Well, then you might want to ask St. Paul, the super apostle, the guy who went in and ready to go into the arena at Mars Theater or something and debate whatever him. Yeah, he said, pray that we would have boldness to declare the word of God. That's another scripture I hope to have up shortly. Ooh, why would Paul need to do that? Because he knows he needs it, and it doesn't hurt to ask, regardless of who you are. And this is what Paul, the professor, the guy who can quote scriptures forward and back and upside down, everything. Well, if he was asking, then you can bet everybody, the rest of us need it too. Like I need prayer to know how to talk with people. That's the other thing. You know, we love to think, oh, it must be easy to stand in front of that pulpit and talk for 20 minutes or whatever and share. Wow. It's not easy. This is why I think some pastors should get together with some YouTubers. And because YouTubers, like, not just so much me right now, but I know a bunch of good YouTubers who know exactly what they're going through. It's not easy to stand or sit in front of a camera or to stand in front of an audience and share whatever is on their heart. It's not so simple. Because you know that people are going to commentate, they're going to do whatever. Alright? Even on something silly. I know a YouTuber who did Minecraft video, and occasionally he would miss a clay block. And everybody would chime in saying, "You meant clay!" A minor thing that really wasn't important. And people noted how that really, well, guess what people do to the unfortunate past. They don't yell, "You meant clay," but they'll say, whatever. It's important. I want to encourage you to start thinking, yeah, we should pray for them. Bless them. Give words of encouragement and help. Here's another thing that pastors are not Superman, okay? They can't go charging everywhere and do everything at once. I know the popular myth, I don't know where it came from, but no. Sometimes we, the members of that local church, need to step up and tell Pastor so-and-so, sit down, you need some time to yourself. We'll go visit that person in the hospital. We'll go visit those people who are in need. We will get off our butt and go do. You chill out. Sometimes they do need to hear that. And know what? That'll be the best thing they ever heard. Because that's what they're supposed to be doing. Equipping us and encouraging us to do the work that God has called us to do. Yeah, they want to put in, they want to give to the church just so we can say, oh, I'm being entertained. No, they were to equip the YouTubers. Our job is to try to entertain you, give you insights or whatever it is to share, and that, sure. But hopefully, you gain something from it. And that's kind of their hope, too. Alright. What if you have a dream or a vision, and you go to, and it's important to understand that God has given the pastor of that church, and sometimes people in that church, a certain vision or dream of what he wants them to do. It doesn't necessarily mean that it'll match your vision or my vision. I have my own vision for what I wanted to do, and I'm pursuing that here. However, I don't expect my home church or some of the others to join in. It's great if they're supportive, and they are, but our visions are in two different directions. So I have to go and say, well, how can I bless them with what God called them to do, and opposed to just going, me. And yes, sometimes those will put in my heart to share your vision with that. And let them speak into your heart if possible. Get you encouragement, but I have to take responsibility for what God called me to do. And understand they may not, and that's perfectly fine. Because God didn't call them to create a YouTube channel. He's telling me to do something like this video blogging. I'm the one who needs to invest time with some resources, get get a webcam from a friend, or get a microphone, things like that. I'm the one who has to do that, not them. It's great when they can, but you know what? You gotta take responsibility for your own. Alright, I'm getting off topic, and I want to wrap up, but I do hope you understand the importance of praying, because our leaders are under attack, because the enemy does not like what God is doing through them, and by virtue, all through that. So if you watched the last video, I talked about the importance of forgiveness. Guess what? God wants us to walk with forgiveness and grace to those in charge. But they will have to give an account to Him. Alright. I want to thank you for your time. I hope you have a blessed day. See you when I see ya.